You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And I'm Joe Heath.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe...
What?
No, nothing.
What?
I thought maybe you were someone else.
Oh, no. I'm Joe Heath.
What is this?
Me introducing myself?
Oh, okay.
What?
Are you going to introduce the podcast?
Yeah, I introduced myself at the top of the podcast.
And then you introduce the podcast.
How?
You say, and this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
And I'm Joe Heath.
I didn't enjoy that bit.
Today, we're going to be talking about the second episode of the second series of Doctor Who, Tooth and Claw, an episode that we watched, and I totally remember.
For sure.
That aired April 22nd, 2006. Joe Facts!
You gonna tell me about it?
You want me to do the summary? You don't want to do any, idle bullshit before we dive in?
I feel like we already did
Oh, not yet, but we got to talk about something.
What?
Somebody in this podcast was voted MVP Jammer.
That's not really relevant to the podcast.
You got MVP Jammer.
I did get MVP Jammer.
It was really your first time jamming, like that.
It was.
Congrats.
Thank you.
High five.
Ow.
I know that was weird. Also, you hurt yourself.
That palm is still hurt from all the falls I did while jamming.
But you got right back up, and that's the important thing.
I do think I got MVP Jammer because they felt bad for hitting me so hard.
No, also...
It was mostly that.
You got so many points. You persevered. There was determination.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just wanted to celebrate. Oh, you got a little award? It's got a little boot on it? A little skater's boot?
It's a little skate on a plaque. It's
glittery.
It's got MVP Jammer written on it in silver Sharpie.
Beautiful.
It's my most prized possession.
I've never won an award that cool. All right, so let me do a quick summary of this episode of Doctor Who, and we'll talk about it. I have two alternative titles for Tooth and Claw.
Two?
Yeah. Tell me which one you like better. The first one is The Empire of the Wolf.
I do kind of like that.
That is a thing they say in the episode quite a bit.
You hear that and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. My other title is Crouching Monk, Hidden Werewolf.
I like that about as much as the opening of the episode.
All right, so here is my summary. A brotherhood of kung fu monks enact an elaborate plan to turn Queen Victoria into a werewolf. But
Why are they kung fu monks?
But are foiled by the Doctor, Rose, mistletoe, and a reverse telescope. The Queen... the Queen knights the Doctor and Rose, then says...
Telescope is so funny.
The Queen knights the Doctor and Rose, then says they are careless and callous, then starts an institute to investigate alien threats, especially the Doctor. It's weirdly an anagram for Doctor Who. Torchwood. So how would you rate that summary?
Pretty good.
No. Did I leave anything important out?
If you did...
You don't remember it.
I don't remember it.
So
This episode is impossible to be retained.
Yeah.
It leaves your brain the second you're done watching it.
Oh my goodness. Was it the second? No, that was the third episode of the first season. Same thing. Not Mark Twain. I keep saying Mark Twain.
Mark Twain and Charles Dickens are not the same.
The Charles Dickens episode. It's so forgettable, I just think it's Mark Twain. What Doctor Who needs to do is make a Mark Twain episode so I no longer sound like an idiot.
I was thinking, here's my big thing I wanted to talk about for this episode.
Sure.
Which is that, I think it's this one. It could be a different ones. It could be a different episode. Anyway, the doctor... Oh, no, it's the one we already did. No, it's not. It's this one.
Are you sure?
No!
I'll let you know if you're wrong.
He says he's a doctor, and he says he trained under Dr. Bell.
Yeah.
Which I told you is Sherlock Holmes.
Is it? Okay.
Like, it's the real-life historical person that Arthur Conan Doyle based Sherlock Holmes off of. And, like, knowing that, I was like, God, how have we never done a Sherlock Holmes? It could have Houdini in it.
That's true.
Do you understand? It could have Houdini in it, and it could have fairies.
Oh,
it could have
you know what else?
Fairies and Houdini.
And Dean Winchester.
What?
Yeah, and you could call it SuperWhoLock.
Shut. Okay, listen to me. Shut up.
You're just reinventing a very popular fandom.
I'm not reinventing SuperWhoLock. I genuinely don't understand how we've never had Sherlock. It wouldn't be Sherlock.
It would be, yeah.
It would be Bell and Arthur Conan Doyle and Houdini if you really want to have fun.
Yeah. There's already a show that's about Houdini and...
I know, I can't find it streaming anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it the guy that played Dirk Gently?
Is it?
I think so. Not new Dirk Gently, old Dirk Gently.
No, I somehow knew that.
Yeah.
It looks cute.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch it.
Support us on Patreon, and we will, maybe we'll do bonus episodes on Houdini and Doyle. I think that's what it's called.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my big important takeaway.
Ooh, we could call it According to Doyle.
According to what?
Doyle?
You said duel.
I did. I've heard it both ways.
Have you?
No. So the doctor trained under Sherlock Holmes is what you're saying.
Yeah, that was my major takeaway from this episode, was the Sherlock Holmes reference.
All right, so I want to talk about Kung Fu monks.
Okay.
That is how this episode starts. They were definitely inspired by Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They said so in the Doctor Who Confidential. They do really cool flips, and it's shot really fun. And then the actual fight scenes are garbage. Like, the flips look cool. Everything else is just like,
Hey, that was great for our audio podcast.
For listeners at home, I am very ineffectually slapping Toni's shoulder. I'm a Kung Fu monk.
Like a weird kind of rubbing.
That's the only kind I know how to do. So you didn't like the Kung Fu monks? Because that's the only thing in this episode that's that fun.
I was going to say, I hate to say it. I hate to say that it felt too silly, because I'm usually not that person. I'm usually like, whoa, that was so silly. Give me more. But there was something about opening with it that I was like, oh no.
My thing is they open with it and then do nothing with it.
And then it's not...
Yeah, it's never a thing again.
It's not about Kung Fu monks. It's about werewolves. Why didn't we open with some, like, cool werewolf shit?
Oh.
Also, I love werewolves. This episode's not a good werewolf story. Because a good werewolf story, you should kind of like the werewolf.
Yeah. You don't like the werewolf?
Well, no, he's kind of evil, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, they have this evil plan to make the queen a werewolf.
Like a true, real werewolf story is somebody gentle wrestling with their own worst impulses.
Yeah.
That's what a werewolf story is for. We're not using it correctly.
Or it's a metaphor for puberty.
Yeah, or it's about fucking.
All monsters are about fucking. They end this... I don't super remember. They end this with the queen having werewolf DNA, basically, right?
Yes. I have a theory about this episode, too.
Okay.
Which is that I imagine it's much more fun to watch if you're not an American. This is a very English episode, I feel like.
Yeah, they keep trying to get the queen to say, I am not amused, which I didn't know was a thing.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Apparently it's a thing the queen said. Queen Victoria.
Like, I mean, it is a fun bit. Like, it's fun watching them enjoy time travel and be irreverent, and also get called out for being irreverent.
Right. The queen's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like,
people are dying.
These are real people, real people's lives, and you aren't taking it seriously. I do like that a lot.
It's fair, too. Yeah. I mean, she maybe goes a little too harsh with it by like, you're banned and I'm going to start an organization to bring you down.
Also, it's not like Torchwood is better. It's not like Torchwood is more reverent.
And Torchwood is the name of the manor or whatever that this thing takes place at, right? It's like House Torchwood. And that's what she names the institute after. Why isn't it... how coincidental that it's also an anagram for Doctor Who?
I mean, it's not coincidental at all because Doctor Who is nothing.
It's not? That's not his name? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me?
It is his name, and he likes it.
Being a Queen Victoria, fun fact about the woman who plays Queen Victoria, she was almost a companion.
What did she
not,
play?
Not Queen Victoria. It'd have been weird, like...
He almost took Queen Victoria on the TARDIS with us.
No, she was in the second Doctor era. She was in the Faceless ones, the one about the airport. The one that Ben and Polly leave in. It's the one where Jamie says, "Look at the flying beastie."
Oh, she's the character in that episode that does all the things.
Yeah, she like teams up with Jamie, and she's really cute. They're really cute together.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were going to bring her on as companion, and I think she turned it down. So, but that's the same actress.
What do you think it is about us? Probably, and not about the episode.
That we don't know shit?
That's what it is about us?
Yeah, we don't know
That makes it,
shit.
like, unable to be retained because we can't engage with it because we're not smart. Shit, that might be it, actually.
Well, here's the thing I was wanting to talk about that we don't know about. Much like last episode, we didn't know about grapes. This episode, I didn't know about mistletoe.
Because I asked you if mistletoe, if that was part of the lore, and you were like, no.
Apparently, is part of some lore. I don't think it's as popular as, like, silver.
It's no silver bullet.
Right. Or just silver in general.
I love the lore of a silver bullet because, like, I know it's like a regular bullet won't kill it, but a silver bullet will.
Right. But a silver bullet would kill anyone.
But a silver bullet would kill anyone.
But yeah, but only a silver bullet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just remember there being something, like, there was something, like, written about that of, like, someone had a silver bullet and they were like, that's werewolves. And it's like, okay, but
Also,
it would
like,
still kill you.
there's so much, like, lore that I gets conflicted in my head. Like, werewolves have the silver allergy, but also vampires do sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
Well, and that's what I think it's very nice that people are like, that's why mirrors don't reflect them, because mirrors are silver-backed.
Would a silver bullet kill a vampire?
I don't know.
Would a silver stake work? Or does it have to be a wood stake? I don't understand.
We gotta get to the bottom of this lore.
But in this episode, mistletoe makes the werewolf go away.
So what's the lore behind mistletoe?
I remember it about as well as I remember this episode.
You brought it up like you had research and notes.
I mean, I looked it up once. Mistletoe werewolf. It says bane of both werewolves and thieves.
That's just a guy.
It's poisonous to most life forms on Earth.
Which includes human. Okay, so
if you eat it, it's bad.
You could poison a thief with mistletoe.
Keeps away both thieves and werewolves. That's
Again, a thief is just a guy.
Apparently, it's on the Teen Wolf wiki, so I guess it's also in Teen Wolf. Are aromantic. Werewolves hate mistletoe. What? Why is it in that Reddit? Oh boy, I don't know. Also, apparently, the doctor he says some scientific name for the oil of mistletoe and got it wrong. So, what else are my notes? That's it. Jesus. Torchwood update. Established. We got Torchwood.
We've got full-fledged Torchwood.
We got wood.
No.
Do you have anything else to say about this episode? We've talked for less than 20 minutes. Did you like the characters?
Honestly,
There was Queen Victoria. There was that guy. There was a guy. He tries to, warn him away at the beginning of the episode, but because they've got, his wife, he's like, oh, you guys probably want to go to the place up the street. And they're like, no, we're cool here. He's like, damn it. But he can't.
Tried my best.
He can't just straight up say, go away, because the monk people have his wife.
The monks do no more fighting after the beginning.
No.
And the werewolf doesn't really werewolf.
What do you mean doesn't really? He eats people.
Eventually. Takes too long.
There's a really good scene where they just shoot the shit out of the werewolf.
That is true.
And then the guy's like, ha, got it. And then gets lifted up by his head. Oh, also, I saw this on the making of the scene where the werewolf is running. Like, the werewolf looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's CG. When the werewolf's running down the hallway, they filmed just an empty plate, but they also just got little fans and were waving the candles. So when the werewolf runs by, the candles flicker as he rushes past with the wind of the werewolf.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
I like that.
I also really like the scene where the werewolf breaks out of its cage and everybody's running out and the doctor runs up and it's just brilliant. Just loves this werewolf.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I was just pleased to see it there.
The only other thing I remember that I liked was the scene where they're all in the basement. It's Rose, the guy's wife, and the rest of the staff, I guess, are chained up in the basement with the monk in the cage, and he's being all creepy at him and stuff. And then, Rose is all right, we're going to break out of here, basically. And then, gets them all, pulling on the chain to pull it out of the wall. And it's just a very Sam Raimi, crash zoom that, twists into, a Dutch angle as they pull. She's like, all right, pull! And the camera just goes, wah! And I love that. It goes, wah.
You love that it goes wah?
I love that it goes wah.
I do like, and I should mention it, the thing that Rose does in the basement, which is very we don't need to assume that this thing, she tries to talk to it. Mm-hmm. It's very Rose and it's very sweet.
Talking to the monk or the werewolf?
Talking to the werewolf.
Oh.
Of right away she's like, so this is probably an alien. We can help you. We can get you back home. I like that is, her first approach.
Yeah. The reason I called this the Empire of the Wolf is that they're planning to turn Queen Victoria into a werewolf, and then the werewolf nation, the werewolves will rule the nation. And they are aliens. They're not werewolves.
How do you become... Is it same werewolf rules? That's how you become a werewolf?
Yeah, you get bitten.
So how does just one of them being the queen...
She becomes part of the monk order, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like a flimsy plan.
And also the guy who, owned this manor was, prepping for werewolves. He put mistletoe over everything.
Yeah.
To keep it away. And he also made this big-ass telescope, which...
It's not a telescope.
No, it pulls the moonlight.
Oh, I do actually really love the logic of this episode. So, enough moonlight will kill the werewolf. And Rose is like, that doesn't make sense. It's a werewolf. It likes the moon. And the doctor says, you're 70% water, but you can still drown.
Sure.
And that's such a solid, shut the fuck up.
Here's the thing.
You can make anything make sense.
Isn't moonlight just reflected sunlight?
Sure, but I think it's very easy to be
It picks up some moon dust.
There's something in the reflection process that's important.
Okay. Sure, why not? Yeah.
I don't know what, but you could come up with something. Cool. I don't need to. Someone could.
Do you have anything else you want to say about this episode? Because I don't.
No. It's...
Well, don't do your final thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We got to throw an ad in here.
All right.
It's part of the rules.
Go to an ad break, then.
All right, we're going to an ad break. We'll be back for final thoughts.
Pardon the interruption. We'll bring you back to your podcast in just a moment. But first, a promo for the Cosmic Pizza Podcast.
In the Cosmic Pizza Podcast, your pizza delivery guys, Dan, Sean, and Paul, serve you a slice of life.
As we discuss literally anything in the universe.
Conspiracy theories?
Movies that we've liked. Women in comedy, voice actors, film directors and producers, authors. But what we don't talk about is pizzas.
Wednesday, I'm here with you people. It's wild.
And we're back.
Welcome
Toni.
back.
Thank you. Toni, I am Joe Heath.
Correct. Is that all you're going to do?
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
No! What are you doing?
What? Is that not what I do? Is that not what I do at this point in the show?
I don't understand the energy you've chosen to bring to this episode. I don't understand it.
Bring something to this episode.
I don't understand it, and I won't feed into it. I won't be a part of it.
Okay, so then what are you going to do?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to let people know that it's time for final thoughts.
Oh.
Final thoughts.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You could go first. That way, when you're done, I can just go, yeah.
This is just a big nothing ball of an episode. I have nothing to say. It's fine. It's not like bad. It's not like I was watching it like, oh, I want this to end. It's just there. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Okay, so you know how last season is all about Bad Wolf? This is Mediocre Wolf.
Fucking entirely off. I know. We have to just end the podcast now. Not even just the episode, just the show. It's over. We're done. We can't do any more.
But yeah, I don't have thoughts one way or the other about it, really. There's some monks that jump around. There's a werewolf. You know what? Mostly, I wasn't amused. I was not amused by this mediocre wolf. What about you? What are your final thoughts?
I have no thoughts, only rage.
You're gonna wolf out.
Fuck.
This is gonna be our shortest episode ever.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's your final thoughts?
Yeah, I just don't have any strong opinions about it. It's very difficult to talk about something where you're like, Toy Story 3 was okay. Like,
the joke's Toy Story 2.
Is it? Is that how old it is?
Mm-hmm. Toy Story 2 was okay.
Is that Bo Burnham? Or
Yeah,
am I misremembering?
It's either Bo Burnham or Dimitri Martin. I don't remember which. It's one of the two.
I was going to attribute it, and now I can't correctly. But you know, it
might be Dimitri Martin.
That joke is about graffiti, and so I've seen it all over the place since then.
Yeah. Because
you can't not
do it.
But that's how I feel. Tooth and Claw was okay.
Cool. All right. So, buy my stuff on minipineapple.com. Do you have any plugs?
No.
All right, let's end this thing. If you like this episode of the podcast, why? Check out more on Watch-A-Rassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at Linktree/Watch-A-Thon. I want to give a special shout out to Vincent E.L. for providing us with our amazing theme song.
Thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com. And tune in next time when we talk about a more interesting episode, hopefully, School Reunion, with returning guests Ashley Rayburn and R. Alan Seiler.
Well, that's already an improvement.
And returning guest Sarah Jane Smith.
You say that like...
I mean in the episode, not in our podcast.
You must clarify.
That would be a real, miracle. Bye. I'm Joe Heath.
This is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
And I love you in a purely parasocial, platonic ideal. What is it you say?
A platonic parasocial way.
Yeah, that thing.
What do you say?
Keep calling Rassilon.
Oh, I won't say that.
Stay Rassil-awesome.
Then you may think on this also, that I am not amused.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.